Thank you, Madam Chairwoman and Ranking Member Shabbat, for holding this very important hearing. The Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act is a vital tool in the American home buying process. Most importantly, small businesses such as title insurance companies and title agents are important in the settlement and closing costs of residential mortgages. I believe that more transparent information could enhance consumer shopping and discourage predatory, discriminatory, and fraudulent lending processes. So it is my hope that this concern is at the center of all, that we understand the impact of HUD's proposed rule on small entities will address, as this very important component. This is a very important component of the subprime mortgage crisis and its predatory lending. Ms. Jackson, I just have a couple of questions for you. First, can you explain to me how the proposed good faith estimate is shorter or less complicated?
Well, borrowers would be able to, if they wish, just take the first page and use that to compare cost and loan terms from different lenders. Since the loan terms are all on this first page, the important ones that we believe, like is there a prepayment penalty? Can the interest rate go up? What is the beginning interest rate? And then at the bottom, there is a total of their cost. Page 2, of course, then goes into more detail about the different types of costs and the different services that the borrower is paying for. Pages 3 and 4 are merely more of an informational type for borrowers, and to explain to them what are some other charges that they may encounter in the home purchase and ownership. It also talks about whether the borrower would, if they don't have the money to bring $10,000 to closing, maybe they, through the trade-off tables, see that there is a loan product that has a little bit higher interest rate, and yet they would only have to bring $3,000 or $4,000 to close it. And so it's more of an educational tool for consumers. Pages 3 and 4.
Would the good faith estimate allow for an easy comparison to the HUD-1 settlement statement?
We have made some changes to the HUD-1 so that you can look back from the HUD-1 to the cost categories on the good faith estimate. The closing script also, currently we had proposed to have what we call a crosswalk, where the fees on the GFE are listed and the fees on the HUD-1, so that the borrower can easily see if there's any difference.
Would the gentle lady yield? Do you think that for the consumer it's much easier and they will be able to detect and compare apple with oranges here?
Well, yes, because what we're trying to do is to come to a total, for example, a total of all lender fees, so that they can compare the lender fees of one loan to the lender fees of another. Like I said, borrowers become confused when the different fees have different names, whether it's an admin or a processing fee or a fee to sell their loan in the secondary market or miscellaneous fees, those types of categories that we see.
I'll yield back, but I have to tell you, if I am in the process of reviewing this for my own sake, it will be quite difficult for me as a consumer to be able to compare the fees in this format, the hot one, with the good faith estimate. And I don't, my concern is we're doing this to protect consumers. Do you test these forms? What type of outreach do you do with consumers?
Yes, we did extensive different rounds of testing. I believe we had at least 6 rounds of testing, beginning in 2002 through November 2007, we've been in Atlanta, Boston, Denver, Seattle, Tulsa, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, Austin, Texas, Portland, Oregon, Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
And
you showed these two forms to them?
We've
to
shown
consumers?
them different forms, and first the company that was developing the form talked to the consumers, found out what they thought that they needed, and developed the form. And then we did test something that was very similar to the HUD-1, and the consumers liked the form that we have now better.
So you're telling me, and I will yield back and give you more time, but you're telling me that it is not much easier for some people to hide fees that are not itemized, because they are not itemized here. It's not easier to hide those fees.
Well, it would be in the they would see the totals of which category was higher than another category.
I yield back. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just have one final question. Ms. Jackson, as you know, hidden costs can act as a payment shock to a borrower, causing financial distress, which could possibly lead to rising foreclosure rates. Borrowers may have entered into high-cost loans as a result of discrimination. Can you explain to me how this proposed rule will address this issue, yet not adversely affect small businesses?
Well, what we are trying to get borrowers to do is to shop. And by holding lenders and brokers that are loan originators, by holding them to a zero tolerance, and as we have proposed, then what they propose on the GFE is what the borrower would actually be charged at settlement. We have calls in my office every day from people that are at settlement and find out they need $900 more to close, or that there was a fee that they did not anticipate. And so what we're trying to do is really put the faith back into good faith estimate.
And would you just, you spoke about the zero tolerance. How was that enforced? Or what kind of oversight is given to that?
Unfortunately, we do not have penalty provisions under Civil Money Penalty Authority under RESPA. My staff is very pro-consumer and has been able to call on behalf of consumers and in most cases get those fees reduced or taken off. Sometimes just HUD's calling, that gets their attention and they offer to do that. We've returned hundreds of thousands of dollars to borrowers that way. But we do believe that we need Civil Money Penalty Authority to make certain that we can enforce what is put on the GFE and then what is charged at the HUD-1 or closing stage.
Just in closing, Madam Chair, I think part of the run on the mortgage foreclosure piece has been a lack of real oversight and penalty. The practice had become a sort of, I think, a way of doing business. And unfortunately, as a result of that, so many people have been adversely impacted. So it is my hope that as you look at this and you speak to a value of zero tolerance, that some sort of provision is made to really enforce that so that we change that behavior and people don't see our sort of new paradigm of lending as a way of continuing a practice that has been really injurious to our economy. And I yield back. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Sure.